All right, here we are today. This is the third lesson in Unit 6. Okay, this is about the rhombi and the squares. Rhombi is simply the plural of rhombus. Okay, and we're going to look at that. We got definitions about it. The rhombus is, and it says, the plural is a rhombi. Okay, that's a special parallelogram in which all four sides are congruent, or the same length. Okay, so that's what this is talking about. All the properties that we've talked about at the very beginning about parallelograms, they still apply to, in addition to two more. Okay, the one that does not apply that we've already talked about is the diagonals are not necessarily the same length because this is not a rectangle. Okay, so it's just like a parallelogram at this point. So all those properties that we listed in lesson 1 apply to this, and we got two more that apply to it. The diagonals are perpendicular. So this means where the two diagonals cross each other, there's a 90-degree angle here. Okay? The other thing is that the diagonals also bisect these angles at each corner. Okay? So these two angles are the same, these two angles are the same, these two are the same, and these two are the same because they're bisected. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at the next part. Okay, example 1 simply says that if the measure of angle DEC is equal to 4x plus 10 degrees, find x in rhombus ABCD. Okay, so what we're talking about here is let's locate angle DEC. So angle DEC is right here. Okay, and since it is a rhombus, we know that this angle has to be 90 degrees because the two diagonals are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so we set it up like this. 4x plus 10 equals 90. Subtract the 10 from both sides, and the reason we set this up this way is because the diagonals are perpendicular. Subtract the 10 from both sides, gives us 4x equal to 90 minus 10, so 4x equals 80. So x is equal to 80 divided by 4, which is 20. Okay, so x in this case is 20. Example 2 says they want you to find the measure of angle PTR. Or, no, what they're actually saying is if PTR is 140 degrees, they want you to find the measure of angle RPQ in rhombus PQRT. Okay, so we know it's a rhombus. So PTR is this angle right here. So this big angle right here is equal to 140 degrees, and they want us to find the measure of angle RPQ. So they're wanting us to find this little angle right here. Okay, so if this whole thing is 40 degrees, then what we're going to do is we're going to set this up because this big angle up here is 140 degrees, so we know 70's here, we know that 90's here, so we can work back to this to get it by using the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. Okay, so the measure of angle PTR plus the measure of QPT equals 180. That's because this big angle and this big angle are both supplementary because they're consecutive angle pairs. Okay, so that gives us 140 plus the measure of angle QPT is equal to 180. Okay, the measure of angle QPT is equal to 180 minus the 140, which is equal to 40. So this big angle up here is 40. So since this bisects the 40 degrees, this side is 20 and this side is 20. So the measure we're looking for, angle RPQ, is 1/2 of 40 is equal to 20 degrees. All right, now let's look at squares, okay? Square is a special type of parallelogram that's a rhombus and a rectangle at the same time. So what this means is that all four sides are the same because that's what a rhombus is. And all four angles are 90 degrees because that's what a rectangle is. Okay, so we know that the length of AC, which is the diagonal, which is the property of a rectangle, comes together in this as well. So that means that the diagonal AC is the same as BD. Okay, and that's what they're telling you. In addition to this, in addition to all the stuff we talked about for a rhombus, the square has the same property as the rectangle, which says that the two diagonals are congruent or equal length. Okay? All right, in this square that's shown, they want you to find x and the measure of angle EDR. Okay? So x is this angle sitting right here. So since it's a rhombus, these four angles here at the interior all have to be 90 degrees. So we can say 5x plus 10 equals 90. Subtract the 10 from both sides gives us 5x is equal to 80. Divide both sides by 5 gives us that x is equal to 16. Okay, they also want us to find the measure of angle EDR. Angle EDR is this little piece right here. Since this is a 90-degree angle and it's bisected, we can work at it from that. So it's 1/2 of 90 gives us 45 degrees. All right, let's look at the next example. Example 4 says in this square is shown in example 3, they want you to find the length of ND if the length of RE equals 24. And then they also want to know what's the measure of angle EMR. Okay? So since ND and RE are the diagonals, since one diagonal is 24, the other one has to be 24. Okay? The measure of angle EMR is equal to 90 degrees because that's one of the central angles. That finishes this up. So if you have any questions about it, be sure you address those with me tomorrow before we start the work, and I will see you then. Thank you very much. Goodbye.